they don't want y'all to ever know. We are the real Yahudim, a.k.a. The people of the Bible of Deuteronomy, the Hebrew Israelites descendants genetically, share bloodlines with the one and only Yahweh Shai HaMashiach of Nazareth, right? Which actually existed in Negro land. Look it up. The royal priesthood of Judah, okay? And as far as that goes, that means we are the genetic Hebrews of the Bible. Not no groups, not no people on the corner talking nothing against those different people. I'm talking blood quantum, E1B1, genetics. The tribe that Christ came from, literally, Judah. Therefore, we're the actual real-life Messianic people, okay, from the Messiah race. So we are indeed the greatest people on the planet, in my humble opinion. Okay, so yes, when you hear people talk about black fatigue, that is a dehumanization terminology, which is very sketchy. I take it very serious. I don't like people saying that at all. And I just let the Most High God, Yahuwah, handles all of those things. But I will continue to pray against demonic entities, because that's demonic and devious and diabolical. There's nothing soft shoe about a term like that. Like I said, if they said ghetto fatigue or ratchet fatigue, then I would cheer them on about that. Because I am totally against ratchet and ghetto behavior, period. Okay? And I got some ghetto and ratchet family members to this day, and I'm not pro their behavior just because they're related to me. Hell no. So ratchet and ghetto behavior is one thing, but to say you got black fatigue, as if that's the totality of all of us as a monolith, that is evil. And no other people group would dare tolerate even such terminology without having at least a hate crime bill supporting their people. Okay, so that's just demonic. But I just listed off much of the reasons that people are secretly saying it's just hatred fueled by jealousy and envy. Because it's not just hatred alone, it's hatred and jealousy and envy. Because if it was just hatred, people would just leave us the fuck alone and go about their business. But you know it's envy and jealousy when people are constantly analyzing and surveilling your culture, okay? Obsessively, or you yourself, your life, right? If they're gang stalking your people or you know, that's showing their jealousy and their envy. You know, you don't steadily stare and analyze and obsess over people who you hate. You just don't. Not if it's just so hate. You do that, because that's a strong passion too. You do that when it's envy-driven hate, okay? And that's a difference, right? Raw hate and envy-driven hate is a difference. Envy-driven hate is even worse, and that's what it is that people have of us. And that's why they're always coming up with all of these terms like mud shark and all of that for their women. Or like I heard a Mexican dude recently say naps online. You know, they would never say this shit in real life. We never come across these racists ever in real life, okay? Ever. Never, ever, ever. Even if someone dared even just wanted to hear a racist in real life, big burly black men never seem to come across these damn racists. We come across a lot of cheers and a smile from these people who go online anonymously and talk all of that shit. But anyway, like some fucking burrito demon was online talking about he's calling our people naps. Okay? Like what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And you know, and people weren't catching it, because a lot of times our people, our people are not that racially aware, unfortunately. I'm gonna be honest. They don't realize when people are trying to be white adjacent or whatever, trying to be like the new, like Ku Klux Carlos, if you get my drift. There's a lot of Mexican anti-black racists too, especially like in LA and shit like that. So I'm glad personally that a lot of our people are not being foolish and throwing themselves on the front lines, trying to fight against this immigration shit. Like, no, the immigration things that Trump is doing to get these illegals out of the country is a good thing. It's great for America. ICE is great for America, for real. Because a lot of these other races actually hate us just as much, if not more, than these white supremacists. Sometimes these other groups of people come up with these terms, such as black fatigue too. And then they go viral, and then a lot of times the whites will jump on board. But all of them have the collective vested interest typically in making sure that their women don't like us. That's why they hate how popular we are as black American males in particular. No one can stop our popularity, so the more popular we get and the lower their birth rates get, the more genetically threatened they feel. Because they feel like they can't afford for their women to go and mud shark it up, as they would call it, and do all of these, all of these sexual things with black men. They cannot afford for that, because only we forget. Only our DNA is dominant in this world. No, there's no other dominant people group DNA. Only a black man can make every other race, but no other race can make a black person at all, okay? And don't let that go over your head. Everybody knows that, except us. Our people don't even think like that, but it's the truth. So that's why when people often see a black man coming, they automatically get in a defensive spirit, especially if the black man takes care of himself and don't let him be attractive and tall and dark or hell, just anything that they know that their women as a collective, as a monolith, could have some attraction to. Any group of men with straight hair, that's from East Indian to Arabic to you name it, don't fall for that whole Well, some of them got African in them too. We ain't talking about African. We're talking about particularly Black American DNA. These other groups don't have our DNA in them, but they know about that Albert Perry DNA. Look up Albert Perry DNA, by the way. Okay? And you'll understand what I'm talking about. We have the strongest DNA compound of all races of men. And they cannot afford for their women to sleep with us, and they feel like they're losing grips. We're too popular, and that's why they're trying to do a psyop to keep their women from liking us. That's where all of this black fatigue shit is coming from. All of that. You notice it's more the women. Excuse me. It's more the racist men saying that. They set the tempo for the Karens. It's the racist fathers that create the psychotic Karens. And when I say create them, I ain't talking about just giving them birth to them on a genetic level. I'm talking about their curates the science of their evil dispositions, their anti-black sentiments. But I've even found that a lot of Karens have a weird sexual fantasy and fetish attraction to black men. A lot of that shit that they do, it comes from feeling ignored by black men they feel entitled to. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it with my own experiences, especially when I had 22-inch arms. Because they like big, black, dark-skinned, muscular, Mendigo-looking men. That's a fantasy, too, that go back to slavery for them. Right? For real, it's deep. Okay, so it's a trip, man. It's dark stuff, man. Dark principalities that play with this stuff, but just know that's a giant psyop. That black fatigue term, and it's even deeper. I can go deeper, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to use it for another video about the other reasons that they say that term, which is coming from us. It's a spiritual fear of their own cosmic karma, so they don't want to be around. Here's the thing, man. They know they victimized us historically, and they feel subconsciously they don't want to be reminded that they operate like apex predators historically, and no apex predator historically, okay, even in nature, likes to see the things that they victimized survive and come back to ideum, right? That's what they feel like when these pink supremacists see us and just as black people, black Americans. A lot of it, they're fatigued by the idea that they never atoned for their sins. They never repented to the Most High God for what they've done to us ever. So that's the deepness of how it goes. They're fatigued by the internal dialogue that ironically looks like an N-word inside of them. Their internal dialogue is like a black man telling them, hey, you didn't atone for these sins. You didn't repent for all of the historical blood of the land on your hands for doing that to the blacks. That's not right. You're wrong for that. Okay? That's God, but that's God's black voice talking to them. But they put our identity and their mind on it. So they feel like if they could just get away from all black people, they don't have to hear about racism no more. When in reality, most of the time we ain't even talking about that shit enough. I don't even like talking about it. It's their own conscience doing that. You can't, listen, there's no free rides in the universe, a wise man once said. And I would be that wise man. There's no free rides in the universe. What does that mean morally? You get no moral free rides. What that means is, for every immoral action that you do in this universe, not me, not you, not the next person, it's the Most High God that will make you have judgments for that. Right? So their internal dialogue makes them feel uneasy around black Americans because that's what they know they've done the most too. They don't feel uneasy around Africans. Look, Joe Biden had a gazillion Africans coming over here, him and Kamami. You know, they had a gazillion Africans and Caribbeans and just all different people coming over into America, right? But that's not who white people pink supremacists feel uncomfortable around. It's actually the people that they feel that they know historically they've done digital and written ethnocide on. And if you don't believe me, look up Walter Plecker. Walter Plecker was one of the most evil pink supremacists that ever lived. He literally is the reason that most of y'all don't know that there was indigenous black-skinned people to America, to North America, to what we call the U.S. for thousands of years. He almost single-handedly wrote us out of the Bill of Existence on paper. You know, it was, bro, you better look up the Black Seminoles, the Choctaws, the Wasabi, the Temeri people, the Amadu Khans. That's where the term American really comes from. It doesn't come from Amerigo Vespucci. That's a myth. The Amerigo Vespucci was a piece of shit, a vagabond who almost drowned and almost died of starvation when he got here to America, because he was exiled from his land in Europe for being basically a bum. When he got over here to America, he met the people, the Temeri Floridians, which is what you would call Tamericans. Look these people up. That's where the term Amadu Khan come from. They were black-skinned people with afros and feathers around their feathers around their hair. But it was afros and feathers. It wasn't this. They shared a very similar style of dress as the red natives because they lived harmonious next to each other always. Amadu Khans, Amaru, just like Tupac's middle name, Amadu. And don't let that go over your head. His people was related to the Amadu Khans, indigenous. So Amaru. Khan, Amadu Khans. That's what real, true history here in America. It was black people, Negroes was already here, but there was a small amount of, a very small, 380,000 amount population of West Africans, or so-called West Africans who came here during the Mid-Atlantic slave trade. Because those so-called West Africans were actually East Africans who were Negroes. People don't know that. The royal priesthood of Judah, they were Northeast Africans. Back when it was called Al-Kabulan, it wasn't called Africa. That's why I say so-called. You got to know your history. But you got to read all of these different books, okay, or get all of these spiritual downloads to understand it. And on that note, Ronnie2, I'm through cooking for now. I'm out. Salute. Please show love to the PayPal. Big time now in a major way. If you can, spare it. It'll help me out. And I'll be able to podcast more often for y'all, okay? So I can have my own device, my own phone device or tablet device to pod from. Because mine is broken right now. And my brother's just looking out for me right now. But yeah, man. Salute to y'all. And once y'all donate enough, for me to get my own, then I'll be able to make personalized pods for y'all again. So right now, salute. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon. I believe I have one. I think both of my Patreons are $5. The Black Messiah Podcast. And make sure y'all subscribe ASAP. Because I think it's still saying right now I have 0 subscriptions, but I just got on there. I just created it pretty much. So I'm not tripping off that, but because I know all of these platforms probably will sway my numbers. Because YouTube swayed my numbers horribly. I had hundreds of thousands of followers when I got kicked off, okay, unjustly, as y'all know. And they would front like it was only a couple thousand, right? So we know what they used to do. They used to delete your comments and all. I'm not going to accuse Patreon of any of that now because I don't know them. I'm just freshly on here, and they're giving me